Hey there, Firebird. So, game changer here. Let's have a little scan. Yeah, just a little surprise. I think we can do a little bit of work on this defense stat here. I think 36% for a player of your caliber. I think there's something different we can have a little look at. So let's see what we can see. I mean, partly obviously you're a 69, which suggests that you're kind of like borderline, obviously CC11. So you're probably getting hit by a few bigger players, and I do get that, and we do need to consider that. I mean, just first thing, having a look at this sort of alpha setup. Now, Paladin I quite like, a bit of a nuance unit, and it's not strictly speaking on the SOG list. But the fact that you've got Ghost and Panther there is an interesting one. I mean, I certainly, if I'm using Centurion, apart from when I'm doing it with a mega weapon, I'm generally using all Centurions, and the anti-air on that is more than sufficient. Especially if you're using the F-35, typically, take out the airfield if that's causing you any bother, or at least take out the war factory. But yeah, I mean, certainly drop the Ghost, maybe get an extra Centurion in there if you can. I think that was how I would tackle it, and probably, even though I want to use the Paladin, there's no real need for it, I would say, in most troop setups. So again, probably, if you want anti-air, get rid of the Ghost on that one, and probably put in the extra Centurion. I think that would be a more effective attack strategy, personally. I suspect that attack strategy is probably because you've been playing boss level. Again, you might find that the ghost there isn't really required on that sort of setup. So I do honestly think that isn't a typical setup. I think that's purely what you're using now. I won't do any further work on the AGS. I won't do any more work on the Force Recon. It looks like obviously you've got Ghost Max. That's probably it for your troop setup, unless you're going Valkyrie, which it doesn't look like so far you are. So all good so far. So I wouldn't do any more work on troops. That's probably more like what I was thinking you'd have as your alpha. Something along that sort of line. So it looks like you're already well aware of obviously what you're doing, which we know very, very well. The Ghost there as a defense, absolutely spot on, but I would probably just tweak it, mate, so that they come out maybe 2-2 and then 3. I would just want to try and get them out a little bit earlier, 36 seconds before the second lot come out, where you could go 24 seconds, have at least 4 out. That'd be how I would tackle that. So I'd maybe just change that a little bit, possibly. Don't have to, but getting them out a little bit earlier does cause all sorts of mischief early on, and it's hard to know where they're coming from. So you tend to find that that works really well at kind of cocking people up. They just don't know where they're getting hit from, because they're really difficult to pick up those guys. Light vehicle, I was hoping possibly to see where you're at with. You're probably going to be the same as me, aren't you? Let's be honest, you won't have looked to get the next setup of LVs up yet, but I'm sure you're building the crits and commons for those naturally anyway before you jump up to CC 11. Again, the NEMs I've generally gone 2-2-5, something along that sort of line. Just getting them out even quicker. If somebody wants to airstrike me, I can just squeeze them out. And also, again, on the light vehicle, you've got 64 seconds before the second set comes out. The way that you've done it, I'd probably maybe go 1-1 and then bang some extra in that sort of last slot. I mean, not that that it does a great deal, but getting them out a little bit early just again puts people on the back foot. Superb work with the fobs. Naturally, that's all going to be good. So really, troop setup absolutely fantastic. Very little kind of suggestions there. I mean, I think you're probably a little bit late in the day for the mega weapon. I think if you did that at early 60s, that would have been absolutely superb. So I would probably hold fire on the development on those, and certainly move probably towards the next mega weapon, really, which is obviously the LV Trident, isn't it? So if you haven't already built units towards that, I would probably move that sort of way. Don't do any more work on Spooky or Raptor, naturally. Yeah, I'm sure you're not. But, that's probably the advice I'd give you on there. So, really a good setup. Probably very much like myself. The next step really is the next step, isn't it? It's the CC11 unit. So, make sure you're building a huge amount of crits, a huge amount of commons for obviously the LV setup that you're going to need, which is going to be absolutely key for that next step. All right, my man. Well done.